Hey, come here. All right, come on. This is a nice way to start a Monday morning, isn't it?
Having a tractor in two pieces when I get here, that's pretty cool.
So this is mechanic Larry. Man, how many tractors have you worked out in the shop? Yeah, more than.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how many. I can't remember how many.
I'm just still grateful you answered your phone call. All right, so we were just talking about this tractor because this tractor has a crazy history, and we're going to run through it really quickly. Lies equate to dollar signs. That's the lesson learned. Never believe an auctioneer, and never believe a farmer that tells you it's freshly rebuilt. 2018, we had a lot of work lined up. I needed a tractor. I needed a tractor in a hurry. This was on an online auction. It was going really cheap. Called out to the auctioneer. The auctioneer completely lied to me, said it was a great tractor. The farmer used a local tractor. Farmer used it every day, right?
PTO didn't work.
Yes. So I go out there immediately, first glimpse on the tractor itself that I see the front tires kicked in like this, which means the spindles are shot, which is $1,000 a side at a minimum. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. And I could see where they wiped down the intake manifold of the tractor for the pictures, because the whole motor was encased with oil because of all the blow-by. I had never seen a motor, because what was really screwy with this thing from the first time we started it up, it would run fine with no blow-by, and then all of a sudden it would have crap loads and crap loads of blow-by. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera. Which we later figured out why, and we'll talk about in just a minute. But we get the tractor home, we do some basic things. We thought maybe it had a blown head gasket, it didn't. I remember pressure checking that. So we did what we always did. Hey, let's put in a piece of equipment. We put it in a spreader, and remember that comment about the auctioneer saying the tractor was great? Hook it up, start it up, tractor starts spinning, and that's where, what Larry just said, the PTO was locked up. So that's when I knew the auctioneer was completely lying to me, because there's no way a South Dakota farmer uses this to bale with, because you'd be going down the road from field to field with the baler running wide open, right? Okay, fast forward. So we did what we always did: screw it, run it till it breaks. It's got to get worse before it gets better. Mechanics hate hearing that, right? Like, just go, damage is done, who cares? So we ran the tractor up until the fall of 21, when Adam called me. Adam was running in the grain cart, calls me, and he's like, hey, I think I just lost oil pressure. They weren't kidding. Oil pressure next to nothing. So we're gonna grab 8th gear. Yep, that sounds horrible. They stopped on the side of the road. Me and my dad show up. I do what all good farmers would do. We're about a quarter mile from home. I wonder if this thing will make it. No oil pressure, but that motor was clanking. It was over. I got it back in the yard. Hey, so did that sound as bad outside the cab as it did inside?
Didn't sound very good.
Oh, Puff, you've been good to us in a crappy way. There it sits till fall of 22. Now, going into this, we knew to do a complete reman of the existing motor that was in it, because the injection pump was shot. It was doing that really cool wah, 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 wah. You're on. Okay, we knew the injectors were shot, the injection pump was shot, and we were looking at a complete overhaul, somewhere between 10 to 12,000. So that was option number one, motor number one. In 2019, we actually bought half a tractor from Wisconsin. Now,
just the front half.
Just the front half. From the bell housing forward. There's one thing with it. It was supposed to be freshly rebuilt. Now, you and I know, never listen to anyone who says it's rebuilt unless they got paperwork on it. I didn't have any paperwork, but I was hoping there was parts in there we could use down the road. Well, and we actually ended up using the front spindles off it. So there we had motor number 2, freshly rebuilt, but sitting outside. We didn't have the highest expectations of that motor. So then we came to motor number 3. So motor number 3 was a 466 motor out of a combine.
So this is our new motor for the 4840, which is known as Puff, because it burns so much oil it'll puff white smoke out of the breather.
Which technically should work, right?
It should work.
About the only thing we noticed right off the bat, we didn't have the aneroid line, which for a tractor like this, unless you're doing some really hard pulling, wasn't necessarily the end of the world.
Not gonna be a big deal.
Okay, here was the problem with the combine motor. Again, auctioneer said it ran, and I don't doubt that. I believe it ran when they pulled it out. We bought it in April. They said they were gonna call us when they pulled it out. End of July, they still hadn't called us. So we called them, and it was something on the lines of like, oh, give us like another week or two, we'll get it out. Okay, so then they get it out, my dad goes and picks it up. Fast forward a month, because I had it sitting back here, me and you tear it down, and we find water we throw the motor up in Larry's splitting stand, our engine stand.
Just kind of cool cedar. Upside down like that.
And immediately we see rust and water sitting on 2 of the valves in the intake ports. Which means there's probably more water down below.
Pull head off.
3 motors into this, right? So me and Larry rip the head off, and immediately we see, those cylinder walls weren't too bad. We see a little bit of rust, but we figured, hey, let's send the head off to machine shop, check that out.
Yep, perfect.
Then we find out after they magged the head, there were stress cracks around the injection ports. Okay, so we have 3 motors, all junk. This is where, financially, this was all dumb. Good intentions, right? How come these stories work out for other people? Like, oh, we just bought a combine motor off an auction. We threw it in the tractor and it ran perfect.
Tractor ran perfect.
That doesn't happen here. Okay, so motor number 3, Dunskies. We know we can't use it. We're hoping maybe there's a few parts that we can salvage off it. Not gonna be a lot that we can salvage. So in December of 22, we take the Wisconsin half a tractor, bring it in the shop. Throw that in the splitting stand, pull the head, and it looks like a desert inside the cylinders. I mean, it's just rust galore. Motor number 2, we had sent motor, head, block, everything down to the machine shop, and then head had stress cracks in it because it froze, block had stress cracks in it because it froze. So what I had out of motor number 2, I had scrap iron. But there was one part that we needed in a minute, and I'll explain. So now we're back to the original puff motor. See how everything goes full circle? We start in January of that year, January 23, last January, we tear that down. We were really not sure if the block was good, the crank was good, anything was good in it. Somehow, the wizard known as the Awesome Machinist was able to save the block, save the head, but we needed a crank. And we were actually able to pull the crank out of the second motor. Wisconsin motor, yep, motor number 2. Yeah, it gets confusing when you're talking about 3, don't it? So last February, you came in on one day, I know we were busy spreading, you completely assembled the motor after we got everything back from the machine shop, because I remember there was so many trips back to the machine shop. You know, is this good, is it not? But you assembled it all, and you had it sitting here in the engine stand, and it was really cool because it was in that just iron gray color that comes from the machine shop. We had the green valve cover and timing cover on it. We had 2 bolts we had to drill out for the AC pump because those were sheared off. My dad started drilling those.
If we break it, we have to fix it. The stud that holds the air conditioning pump tight, the bracket, the stud broke off, and now that we're rebuilding the motor, we figure this is a good time. It's easy access because now it's open so we can get at it. So what we'll do is we'll drill a hole in the center of the bolt. This one happened to be broke off internally, so you can't get weld on a nut or anything to try turning it out. So we're gonna drill it out and use an easy out and try to back it out that way. So I've already drilled it once and tried to use our smaller easy out, but I was afraid I was putting too much pressure on it, and I didn't want to break that off because that's a hardened steel tool. You break that off in there and then you're kind of up the creek. That's what we have, an easy out set with reverse drill bits. It isn't going to matter, so I've been drilling with the best bits that I could find in the shop.
The first thing you do is you find a hole that's similar depth and you mark it with a piece of tape or anything. So you want to drill into the bolt, but you don't want to drill through the bolt and into the block. We've already drilled it with a smaller one. And the biggest thing when you're drilling a bolt is to always drill straight so you don't get off in the threads, and centered is, you have to stay centered the time. So that's what we've done with this one already.
And then I got it painted green, and then later in March, we started putting it together. We actually had the engine on the cherry picker, and we were able to roll the engine into the frame rails. But then we had a new problem. All right, so the new problem we had, we get the engine in the tractor.
Well, it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
It's a learning curve.
We have one more cherry picker out there yet, but we haven't tried that one.
See what happens when you let this thing down.
I'm here working on these intake manifolds. This is kind of where hot rod meets farming, and where Eric confesses that he's a little bit of a dork. If this was Holly or Edelbrock, they would have left this machine aluminum, polished it down, and then polished it out. And a tractor like this back in the 70s would have just had a really cool looking aluminum intake. Instead, it's farming. They cover it up with paint. So what I'm doing here, these have a rougher casting than normal, and they're just really coarse. So I was in here with a sanding wheel, just sanding them down, smoothing them out. I'm not trying to do anything real crazy, but just kind of sanding down a lot of the rough spots, the machine spots, the casting spots, and just so we get a little nicer finish on it. Hopefully the end result's a little nicer than most. That's my goal. Where we sat, we had new turbo, we had reman injection pump, reman injectors, we had reman, we just assembled the reman motor, and new clutches, transmission pump. Oh, I forgot to tell you one other thing. The original Puff motor had a really shiny turbo on it. That couldn't have been on there very long. Has a new A&I tag on it. Do you remember the problem with that really shiny turbo that Eric thought was new? That's so horrible. See how that's hitting the housing? That is not supposed to do that.
It was shot.
Yeah, you could take the end play and, oh my God, just... I feel like this has just been the ultimate crap on Eric tractor, right? Like,
We had a bigger garbage can than we had tractor.
yeah, the scrap pile was pretty big after all of this. So, 1:30 in the morning, and I just texted a parts order to a parts guy at Deere. Hope he's not mad. Usually they're pretty good about it, but hopefully I didn't wake him up. There's just a couple of nuts, bolts, filters that we needed that I kind of forgot about here. But pretty happy, clicking along on this project. A little sad, I've been in and out of this project, mostly helping finding parts, but there's been another mechanic, assembled the motor. Last week we got it in the frame rails, and then actually Friday he was back doing a lot of the assembly on it because I've been out spreading and doing other things, which kind of sucks because this is the kind of stuff I kind of enjoy, and I really like working with this mechanic. But yeah, ordering parts at 1:30 in the morning. It's 2023, life's pretty good. Okay, I just got back to the shop, and it's kind of cool. Mechanic guy's here. If you hear that chatter behind me, as soon as I pulled up, I shut the truck off, and I'm like, oh wow, that is cool. That is the new motor and Puff. Kind of cool. I'm gonna go check it out. All right, so the new problem we had, we get the engine in the tractor and it's running. I pulled the original hydraulic and trans filter and everything looked good. I pulled the suction screen, there was no major chunks, but you kept finding trace, like really extreme small filings everywhere else. We decided after we heard the motor run, so we did hear it run, that's one cool thing. We decided, hey, let's push this in cold storage and go into the rear end. Because if when we did the motor, Larry also rebuilt the piston pump, the water pump, and then what was the transmission components he already put in?
C1, C2 PTO clutch pack and torsional dampener plate.
Wasn't there another hydraulic pump too?
Transmission pump on it, yeah.
Because the transmission pump is what we were worried about destroying with those fine filings. Okay. So to save money at this point, because the whole goal of just putting a $2,000 motor in this thing went out the window, as I think I got about $14,000. Where we sat, we took it out of the shop and put it back in cold storage where it sat. Behind me, I got our favorite tractor Puff, which we just rebuilt the motor on, got it running, only to find out, yeah, the transmission needs to go through. We had a little bit of bad luck. We got the motor in it and running, and then usually we pulled the filters and what they call the suction screen out of the bottom of the transmission. Usually when you do that, it kind of gives you a good inkling knowing what's going on in the rear end. Well, originally the filters and the suction screen looked really, really good. A lot of times there'll be clutch disc material in there and like big bearing chunks if something's failing, or gear chunks. In this case, we had the opposite problem. The suction screen was almost perfectly clean, but the filters were filled with very small, minute filings. So for today, we're gonna get it running again. We are going to take it outside and put it in cold storage and bring in another tractor. So that's the goal for today. Earlier today, I got the sheet metal back on it. I got the hood, side shields, exhaust, and air cleaner on it. So I'm just getting ready now. We're gonna pull this out and then bring in another tractor. And then later this summer, we're gonna have to split it again, pull the cab off so we can go after the rear end. Not the end of the world, but just a whole lot of work. And so we've done them before. I've done a number of them before. So nothing new, but just was hoping after we just rebuilt the motor, we wouldn't have to do that. That's the way it goes. We took it out of the shop and put it back in cold storage where it sat basically 8 months till this last weekend. This last weekend, we fired it up because Larry's coming. And now we are going to start going after the rear end issues. So if you see at any point in this conversation, Eric's eyeballs just going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah, dollar signs, lies equate to dollar signs. That's the lesson learned. Never believe an auctioneer and never believe a farmer that tells you it's freshly rebuilt.
And that the clutch works.
So me and Larry were joking here because Larry's like, I don't even remember which motor this is. 90% of it is the original Puff motor. The injection pump and injectors were original Puff. The only thing I think we were able to salvage out of that Wisconsin motor was the crank. Mm-hmm. And even that, the machine shop had to straighten. Yeah. Because even that, I remember dropping off. He's like, well, I don't know. We'll see. It's not good when the machinist is like, I don't know.
Very, very talented machinist.
Yeah. Hats off. All right, now I'm going to quit gabbing here. We'll let the real mechanic. I just was shocked when you're like, I don't even remember what motor and everything. It was such a black hole. He just wanted to like not think about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.